Stop this video right now if you're comfortable being average. Because what I'm about to tell you will ruin excuses forever. While you're sleeping, someone else is taking territory. While you're scrolling, someone else is stacking leverage. And here's the dark truth most people can't handle. The world doesn't reward effort. It rewards positioning. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. And that's why his enemies slept peacefully. Right before losing everything. Comment, empire, if you're done living on borrowed time and ready to build something that outlasts you. And tell me, what's been stealing your nights lately? Chapter 1. While they sleep. The real cost of comfort. There are two kinds of nights. One where you rest because you earned it, and one where you sleep because you surrendered. Most men confuse the two. Machiavelli never did. He lived in an era where power shifted while people slept. Literally, alliances formed in the dark. Armies moved at dawn. Decisions made quietly determined who ruled by morning. Comfort was not neutral. Comfort was dangerous. Today, the battlefield has changed, but the rule hasn't. The modern enemy isn't a rival city-state. It's distraction. It's routine without purpose. It's comfort masquerading as balance. You've been taught to value rest before results, to protect your evenings, to switch off, to wait for motivation. And, slowly, without noticing, you traded ambition for anesthesia. That's the trap. Machiavelli warned that rulers who became soft in peace were crushed in war. The same principle applies to men who grow soft in opportunity. When conditions are favorable and you still choose comfort, you aren't being kind to yourself. You're training yourself to lose. Here's the pain point no one wants to admit. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they stop early. Every single day. They stop when work gets boring. They stop when progress turns invisible. They stop when no one is watching. And that's exactly when empires are built. While they sleep. Not because sleep is evil, but because discipline is selective. You don't need to outwork the world. You need to outlast it. Machiavelli understood something brutal. Power accumulates quietly. By the time it's visible, it's already too late to stop. The prince who looked harmless was often the one who had already secured loyalty, resources, and timing. In modern life, this means something uncomfortable. Your biggest breakthroughs won't feel heroic. They'll feel lonely. The nights you choose to work while others unwind won't be celebrated. They'll be questioned, mocked, ignored, and that's the test. Because noise belongs to the masses. Silence belongs to builders. You've felt this tension before. That pull between comfort and progress. Between scrolling and studying, between sleep and strategy. And every time, you told yourself you'd start tomorrow. Tomorrow is where empires go to die. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold, but only when boldness is paired with preparation. Luck follows those who are already moving, not those waiting to feel ready. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your current routine is training your future position. If your nights are reactive, messages, media, mindless rest, your future will be reactive too. You'll always be catching up, always responding, always late to your own life. But if your nights are intentional, focused, disciplined, strategic, you begin to flip the equation. You stop chasing opportunity. You start creating it. This isn't about hustle porn. This isn't about burning out. This is about ownership of time. Time is the only currency that compounds without permission. And right now, most men are broke in the only way that matters. They give away their best hours to people who don't benefit from them, to systems designed to distract them, to habits that keep them predictable. Predictability is weakness. Machiavelli despised predictability. He believed a ruler should be unreadable, calm, controlled, prepared. The same applies to men who want power in the modern world. If everyone knows what you're doing every night, you're not building an empire. You're broadcasting intentions without leverage. Real builders move quietly. They understand that nights are not for escape, they're for construction. Think about it. The world slows down at night. Interruptions decrease, noise fades, demand drops. That's not an accident. That's an opening. While others disconnect, you connect the dots. While others consume, you create. While others sleep, you compound. And no, this doesn't mean never resting. It means resting after progress, not instead of it. Here's the line most people never cross. They want the results of sacrifice without the discipline of sacrifice. Machiavelli would laugh at that. He believed you either pay the price up front or pay it later with interest. Comfort now or control later. You don't get both. And here's where it gets personal. You don't need more motivation. You don't need a new plan. You don't need permission. You need a decision. A decision about who your nights belong to. Because once you reclaim your nights, everything changes. Your focus sharpens. Your confidence rises. Your identity shifts. Chapter 2. Silent Hustle. The Machiavellian Strategy for Building Power. Now listen carefully. This is where most people get it wrong. They hear build while they sleep and imagine chaos. Endless hours, burnout, coffee-fueled desperation. That's not Machiavellian. That's amateur suffering. Machiavelli never admired exhaustion. He admired efficiency, timing, and leverage. Power is not built by doing everything. Power is built by doing the right things, consistently, quietly, and before others realize what's happening. Machiavelli understood that whoever controls the environment controls the outcome. Nighttime is not just extra time, it's a psychological weapon. At night, there's less competition, fewer interruptions, less noise, less comparison. That's why the night is ideal for deep, high-leverage work. Not emails, not busy work, not shallow tasks, the kind of work that compounds. Learning a rare skill, designing a system, building an asset, thinking strategically instead of reacting. Here's the key. You don't use the night to work harder. You use it to work deeper. Most men waste their best mental hours scrolling, arguing, consuming. Machiavellian men use those hours to think, plan, and create. Because clarity is power, and clarity comes when the world shuts up. This rule is brutal, but necessary. Machiavelli warned against revealing ambition too early. He believed weakness should never be public, and growth should happen in silence. Why? Because visibility invites interference. When you announce your goals, you invite opinions. When you broadcast your plans, you invite sabotage. When you show progress too early, you invite envy. That's why your hustle must be invisible. No announcements, no motivational posts, no grind culture validation. You don't need applause while you're building foundations, you need silence. While others sleep, you don't post, you prepare. You don't explain, you execute. This is how power accumulates unnoticed. And when you finally move publicly, people think it happened overnight. That illusion is dominance. Pause for a second. This next part is crucial. Studies on goal achievement show that people who publicly announce goals are significantly less likely to complete them. Why? Because the brain confuses recognition with progress. The weak crave recognition. The strategic crave results. Machiavelli didn't care about looking powerful. He cared about being powerful. That distinction matters. Most people hustle for appearances, status symbols, aesthetics, temporary validation. Machiavellian hustle is different. It's about assets. Assets that work while you sleep. Skills that increase your value. Systems that reduce dependency. Knowledge that gives you leverage in negotiations, careers, and life. Ask yourself this at night. Will what I'm doing tonight still benefit me 6 months from now? If the answer is no, it's probably entertainment disguised as effort. Empire builders invest nights into things that compound quietly. They understand that momentum isn't loud. It's cumulative. Machiavelli despised reliance on emotion. He believed rulers who acted on feeling were unstable, and unstable men are easy to defeat. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is strategic. That's why your nightly routine must be non-negotiable. Same time, same place, same focus. No debate, no negotiation, no mood check. You don't ask yourself if you'll work. You've already decided. This removes friction. And friction is what kills consistency. Ruthless men don't wait to feel inspired. They show up because that's who they are. Identity beats intensity. Here's where most people sabotage themselves. They work at night, but they don't close the loop. Machiavellian strategy demands intention. Every night must end with clarity for the next day. Before sleep, you ask, what is the single most important move tomorrow? Not a to-do list, not a wish list, a move. This keeps momentum alive. It prevents drift. It turns hustle into a campaign, not random effort. Machiavelli believed power was maintained by foresight. The man who knows tomorrow today is always ahead. Chapter 3. Ruthless execution. Turn silent hustle into an empire. Now it's time to execute. Everything you've heard so far means nothing unless you turn it into behavior. Machiavelli didn't reward intention. He rewarded outcomes. Power belongs to the man who acts when others hesitate. So here is the execution protocol. How to build your empire while they sleep, without burning out, without begging for motivation, and without revealing your hand. This is not flexible. Flexibility is for amateurs. Not all nights are equal. Pick a consistent 2-hour block, not more. More leads to exhaustion. Less leads to excuses. 2 hours is enough to change your life if used correctly. Same time, every night. No negotiation. You're training identity, not chasing motivation. Never split focus. Power grows from concentration. One skill, one asset, one system. If you try to do everything, you do nothing. If you do one thing relentlessly, you dominate. Ask yourself before you start, if this is the only thing I do tonight, will it move my future forward? If not, cut it. The no distraction rule. Machiavellian men understand one brutal truth. Distraction is modern slavery. Phones off, notifications dead, no background noise unless it enhances focus. You are not allowed to check something real quick. That's how control is lost. Every time you resist distraction, you reinforce dominance over your impulses. That discipline spills into every area of life. Money, relationships, confidence. Men who control themselves control outcomes. The energy preservation law. Here's what weak hustle culture never tells you. Burned out men don't win. Strategic men last. You do not sacrifice sleep endlessly. You sacrifice waste. Cut late night scrolling. Cut meaningless socializing. Cut dopamine abuse. Then redirect that energy into the night window. Empire builders don't destroy their bodies, they weaponize their routines. Remember this. Fatigue makes men emotional. Emotional men make bad decisions, and bad decisions destroy power. Do not talk about what you're building, not to friends, not online, not for validation. Machiavelli warned that premature exposure invites enemies before defenses are ready. Silence protects momentum. Let people underestimate you. Let them think you're inactive. Let them sleep. While they speculate, you compound. Now, pause. Most people watching this will feel inspired and do nothing. Statistics show that over 90% of people never execute on self-improvement advice beyond 72 hours. If you don't act tonight, you will forget this feeling. And that's the trap. Here's your challenge. 30 nights, no exceptions, 2 hours each night. One objective, total silence. No posting, no explaining. No seeking approval, just execution. At the end of 30 days, you won't just have progress, you'll have identity shift. You'll trust yourself again. You'll feel dangerous, not loud but capable. You'll move differently. That's when power begins. Machiavelli believed fortune favors the prepared, not the hopeful. When opportunity appears, most men panic. They're unready, unskilled, undisciplined, but the man who built in silence. He doesn't rush, he doesn't explain. He steps forward calmly, because he's already prepared. That's how empires are built. Not with noise, not with motivation, but with quiet, ruthless consistency. If this hits you, it's because you're tired of watching others win while you wait. Good. That frustration is fuel, if you use it correctly. Stop announcing, stop explaining, stop waiting, start building while they sleep. If you're committing to the 30-day empire test, comment "silent" below. No speeches, just the word. And if you want more strategies like this, dark, disciplined, and effective, subscribe. Not for motivation, but for instruction. Remember this: the loudest man in the room is rarely the most powerful. The most dangerous man is the one no one sees coming. Build quietly. Move decisively. Rule later. Watch this again if you need clarity. Now go execute.